It's Sunday. Guess that means Michigan got their ass kicked yesterday. I think I said last week that we were going to get our butts kicked by Texas. Texas is going to win it all. If they don't, they're going to get the Final Four. So Michigan's probably going to drop out of, probably end up being 19 or 20 this week after getting blown out by Texas. But that's not what we're talked about today. I keep watching these news blurbs from some of the social media influencers. You've got 24 hours. 24 hours. You know, they get the noobs all excited and they buy Bitcoin and or whatever, and then Bitcoin doesn't do anything. Then they sell the Bitcoin. I keep telling you guys, do not sell your Bitcoin. I don't care what you do. If I could take a second mortgage on my home, I would take a second mortgage. Bitcoin's sitting at 53,800 this morning, and it just keeps channeling up and down. I think Bitcoin's going to take one more big dip before it starts running, and that'll be in the next 2 weeks because the Fed is already said they're going to lower interest rates, right? Which is going to happen, I think, in 2 weeks. So they need to get their crap together. Jay Powell's an idiot. He's going to get his crap together at least for now, and he's going to lower the interest rates. And that's going to stimulate the economy, right? Because it's going to be cheap for businesses to borrow money, which means that they can buy more goods, they can have more services, they can hire more people, stimulates the economy. Good for Bitcoin. So if they lower the interest rates, Bitcoin's going up. That's why I say now is the time to buy Bitcoin. Every time I get a paycheck or get extra money, I sell something, whatever, I buy a little bit of Bitcoin, even if it's $100 worth it. I told you guys that last week. People are talking about people are selling Bitcoin. There's fear in the markets. The fear and greed index is down around 25, which means people are afraid. They're starting to sell. Well, guess what? Mr. Bitcoin, Mr. 100 bought 2,000 Bitcoin in the last 7 days. Now, no one knows who Mr. 100 is. I think it's a Middle Eastern nation that's buying all these Bitcoin, this Mr. 100 thing. And then, of course, Russia mined $3 billion in Bitcoin last year. So everybody's talking about how Russia isn't allowing their people in Bitcoin. They're taking over, whatever. $3 billion. But $3 billion isn't that much because right now the United States is paying $3 billion a day on the interest that we owe. That's not, I don't know about you guys, but that's really bad. That means that the U.S. dollar is getting weaker. So that's why the Fed decided, we better lower some interest rates because otherwise we're going to be in big trouble. And I don't really want to blame it on, either side. I think the Democrats have completely effed up the country in the last 4 years. And if you put them back in office for 4 more, you might as well kiss this country goodbye. I think I'll probably move to El Salvador. But people are talking about, well, it's Trump's fault, whatever. But, people who don't realize that the White House has had a Republican president 12 of the last 31 years. 12, all right? And it's been under Democratic control for 27 years. So if the government's been under Democratic control for 27 of the last 31 years, then unless we have to decide who's really responsible for screwing everything up. Aside from that, the Fed will lower interest rates. Most likely they'll do some type of economic easing, quantitative easing in the next few months, which means they'll start stimulating the economy again, which is going to continue to devalue the dollar, and we're going to get killed. So this is going to actually be good for Bitcoin. So Cantor Fitzgerald, he the chairman said that Bitcoin's it could be regulated by the CTFC. It doesn't mean they can control Bitcoin. You have in charge of your wallet, but if they do, if the CTFC does regulate it, that means that Bitcoin can be treated as a financial asset. What does that mean? That paves the way for all TradFi companies to basically go headfirst into Bitcoin. So I hope the CTFC decides to try and regulate Bitcoin. And it's kind of funny. So if you're selling Bitcoin, you're an idiot, because if you go to I subscribe to the service, I can't think of what it's called right now, but you can look at like who's selling and who's buying, and the whales, the ultra wealthy, are buying the shizzle out of Bitcoin, while the weak hands are selling. The people who own a half a Bitcoin, a quarter Bitcoin, they're trying to time the market. You're going to get caught. You're going to lose. You're going to lose if you try to time the market. Stop selling your Bitcoin. Major companies that hold Bitcoin, Marathon Mining and Riot and Cipher Mining and Core Scientific, CleanSpark. These are all companies that mine. They all own Bitcoin. Bitfarms, Hive, Sato, Sphere 3D, BitDigit, Argo. Who else? Bitcoin Depot, MicroStrategy, Reddit, Mercado, Globant. I'm trying to get all the companies. But these say Coinbase, they all own Bitcoin and they're all buying it. Galaxy Digital, I just watched the CEO do a kind of a cool thing yesterday on Galaxy Digital. Bitcoin Group, Broth, Exodus, Banks, WonderFi, DMG, Tesla. Talk about it all day. Large, multi-billion dollar corporations are just tossing money into Bitcoin, loading up on Bitcoin because they know what's coming. So everybody's sitting on the fence and going, I'm going to wait for Bitcoin. It's 58,000, 53,000, too expensive. You're going to get screwed. this is still, I keep saying, this is your once in a lifetime opportunity to buy into Bitcoin. And if you're not doing it, you're going to miss out. Half the buyers coming into Bitcoin today are the ultra wealthy. And why are they coming in? Because they're doing it for wealth preservation, because they know that the markets are in trouble. They know that the Fed's going to lower interest rates, and if they continue to lower interest rates, it's going to devalue the dollar. These people are sitting on dollars, and they're trying to find places to put. They're looking for hard assets, right? If the dollar's being devalued, you want to buy things like what? Like automobiles, I guess, collector cars, art, gold, silver, Bitcoin, the things that are going to go up. And the reason they're going up is why? They're going up in value because the value of the dollar goes down. I had this conversation with someone the other day about buying real estate. I'm going to buy real estate because real estate continues to go up. I said that real estate, if you're in just a regular market real estate, like I live in a small area in Michigan, if the real estate market's going up, it's because either there's a supply crunch, which is one thing, or the dollar is being devalued, right? So when home prices go up, it's more about the Fed is destroying the value of the dollar than it is about your property actually becoming more valuable. So if you have money in the bank, you need to start looking for hard assets. Even if it's fine art, you can get into one of those fine art organizations where you own a share of it, or you need to buy gold, you need to buy silver. I wouldn't buy real estate because there's no liquid in real estate. Or you buy things like Bitcoin. You sit on Bitcoin. Because as the dollar continues to fail, the Bitcoin is going to decorrelate from the markets, and Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million a token in the next, I don't know, 10, 15 years. So I'm telling people, don't put your money in the bank. Buy Bitcoin. Even if you're buying $100 a week. Like I told you last week, I use Swan Bitcoin to buy a little tiny purchase of Bitcoin. I'm only buying $100, $200 at a time. I've been buying Bitcoin for the past 13 years. And I continue to buy because if I have the $200 of money that I'm not going to spend, I've got all my spending money for the week. My wife has finished spending her normal 10 grand a week on whatever the hell she does with her money. Any extra money at the end of the week I buy Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if it's $50 or $100. You can go to Swan, you can buy Bitcoin for pennies on the dollar, or rather pennies on dollar fees. And then you can, after about a week or two, you can move it to a cold storage wallet like Trezor or Ledger or Jade or Oculus, or I don't know, I got an Arculus rather. I have a bunch of different wallets that I use. You move there and just put it in the safe and just forget about it. Leave it there for the next 10 years and keep doing what you're doing. Invest in whatever you want to do, and we'll see how it pans out in the next 10 years. So it's Sunday. Bitcoin's sitting at 53.8. I think it's going to dump down into the high 40s in the next week or two. And then it's going to just go crazy once they start lowering interest rates. We're going to need to see a half-point interest rate drop by the Fed in order to see a real run by Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's got to get through 62,000, then it's got to get through 70,000, then it's got to get through its all-time high around 76, then it's got to get through 100,000. But after it breaks through all those walls, Bitcoin's going to $250,000 this bull run. I would be surprised to see a $250,000 by December of 2025. We'll see, but I still think it's going to go to 100,000 before January this year, January of 2025. So we'll see. You don't want to buy Bitcoin? You can buy the ETFs. If you have a stock portfolio, buy the ETFs, IBIT, Marathon. I don't know who they are. Kathy Woods, ARK Invest has something. Fidelity has something. They're cheap, like $30 a share right now. Or buy companies that are investing in Bitcoin, like MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is going to go through the roof when Bitcoin takes off. So just be prepared. Crypto noobs, have a good Sunday. My son and I are going to look at the sun today with our solar telescope, and then we might go fishing. Enjoy your Sunday.